Right now, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will stay on the state's November ballot, while Wisconsin Supreme Court ruled against removing his name. Also, Hurricane Helene carves a path through the southern U.S. The impacts the storm could have on the Dane County Regional Airport. And we're following investigations into student protests when hearings will take place over the spring encampment at Library Mall. We welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s name will stay on the presidential ballot in Wisconsin for the November election. The ruling comes from the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Kennedy Jr. filed a suit against the Wisconsin Elections Commission last month, seeking to be removed from the ballot after dropping out of the race and endorsing former President Donald Trump. Wisconsin law states that the only way a candidate can be removed from the ballot after submitting the necessary signatures is to die. And U.S. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is set to speak in Madison very soon. Will Keneally is in downtown Madison as we await her to take the stage. She's here on behalf of the Harris Walls campaign, and Will joins us now. Will, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Eric, that's right. We're here at the Orpheum Theater right on State Street, where just in the next couple of minutes, we're expecting the speaker portion of this event to kick off with certainly the headliner, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. We're expecting them to talk about reproductive health care and reproductive rights. Now, that's a big issue that Democrats have been running on this entire campaign, and especially has come into focus within recent weeks and months here. We actually ran into a medical student from the UW who's been out kind of helping campaign and clarify this issue for voters for the Harris Walls campaign. She says it's a big issue, motivating issue, especially for her. Now, we've certainly also seen, to that point of motivation, we've seen people with clipboards soliciting volunteers. This is one of those rallies that will really turn out and energize the Democratic faithful, especially in a very liberal city like Madison here. So we could see possibly, people hearing what Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has to say, and then, signing up to maybe go knock doors later this weekend. We are seeing the lights dim now as we speak, so we're expecting them to maybe start again within the next couple of minutes, but we'll continue to keep you updated throughout the night, and again back here right at 10. But for now, reporting from downtown Madison, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
All right, Will, we'll check in shortly. Thank you. Vice President Kamala Harris in Arizona this evening, visiting the southern border. Immigration, of course, remains a big issue in the 2024 presidential election, with polls showing voters trust Donald Trump to handle the issue more than the vice president. Her campaign aides say the VP plans to use her trip to the border to slam Trump for scuttling the bipartisan border deal and lean into her work as Attorney General of the state of California. The Secret Service makes changes to Donald Trump's original plans to visit Wisconsin. He is scheduled to be in Prairie du Chien tomorrow, originally scheduled as an outdoor rally, but the Secret Service says it does not have the personnel it needs to secure such an outdoor site. So Donald Trump will now deliver remarks inside the Prairie du Chien Area Arts Center. It comes as the agency remains under fire from both sides of the aisle for its failure to protect the former president. Emergency crews are rushing to rescue people trapped in flooded homes after Hurricane Helene made landfall in Florida late last night. The U.S. Coast Guard even saved a man and his dog after his 36-foot sailboat became disabled and started sinking off the coast of Sanibel Island, Florida. So far, at least 40 people have died in 4 states. The hurricane has generated a massive storm surge and knocked out power to millions of customers across several states. And the storm's impacts are being seen throughout the country, really. Tanisha Shaw is covering how Helene could affect Dane County travelers.
Hundreds of flights are delayed or canceled after Helene made landfall. Thankfully for passengers here at Dane County's regional airport, that is not the case, but that could change.
We do expect our flights to be impacted by the storm and the hurricane.
On Thursday, Helene made landfall in Florida as a Category 4 hurricane.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Airports across the country are impacted with hundreds of cancellations and delays. One of the busiest airports in the country is in Atlanta. They're seeing more than 500 cancellation and delays today alone, according to FlightAware. This can eventually impact Madison's airport.
Okay, but if you start looking at it from a network perspective, that plane has to get to you in the first place, right? So maybe where it's coming from, there's bad weather. It might not even get to where, if it's connecting through Atlanta. It can't get to Atlanta in order to get to Madison. It's like a ripple in a pond.
I talked to a passenger in Madison that is already seeing that ripple effect.
Fly from Madison to Charlotte, North Carolina, and then Charlotte to Frankfurt, Germany.
Charlotte is one of the airports impacted after Helene made landfall. Now, she'll miss an important event.
So I'm going to miss my connecting flight. I think I'm going to have to either take a 11 p.m. flight in Charlotte, which is 5 hours later, or push it till tomorrow, and then I'll miss my friend's birthday party.
Airport officials told me there's no way to tell exactly when or if Dane County Regional Airport will see a major impact. If you have a flight that is near Helene's path, they ask that you plan to arrive early.
Check with your airline. They're going to have the most up-to-date information about your flight and how weather is impacting your flight. So if it does show it's on time, arrive to the airport a little bit early so you can control all of the variables that you can.
Reporting in Madison, Tanasia Shaw, News 3 Now.
Well, there's a slim chance of rain for the weekend. Our temperatures will stay warm. Let's check your first warn forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller on the weather patio. Blaze?
Yeah, we did not really get any of the rain that we otherwise thought Helene and now her remnants would have maybe brought us as she is continuing to move back north and westward. Instead, we're going to continue to deal with mainly these breezy conditions, especially the farther south and east you live, because you're closer to what was the center of that major hurricane. Not only the breezy conditions, but also some cloud cover as well. And again, the farther south and east you live, the more cloud cover you're going to be seeing here as we go not only overnight and through the rest of your evening, but into your Saturday as well. Because we're not going to be seeing any rain and because we're not seeing as much cloud cover as even Future Track right now is painting, we're going to be warmer as we head into your weekend, especially on Sunday when we could top out in those low 80s, and we'll do it again on Monday as well. After a quiet, albeit breezy evening and Saturday morning, it is going to be a generally dry, sunny, and warm weekend. Saturday's probably just going to be the more breezy of the 2 days. Future Track wind gusts continue to keep those gusts anywhere between, I would say, 20 to 30 miles per hour as we go overnight into your Saturday as well. We're going to track out once Helene breaks down what lies in store for us here in southern Wisconsin in the full forecast.
All right, Blaze, thank you. The UW Board of Regents voted unanimously to revoke the tenure of a former campus chancellor who was fired after making pornographic films. The Regents met in a closed session before voting in public to fire Joe Gao. Gao argued that his videos and 2 ebooks published about his experiences in adult films are protected by the First Amendment. The university's attorney argued that Gao's videos themselves are legal, but that they are not protected speech under his employment contract. Gao has been on paid leave since the Regents fired him as chancellor at UW La Crosse back in 2023. 2 UW-Madison students could be facing disciplinary action from the university for their alleged involvement in last spring's encampment and protests on Library Mall. Our Ellie LaLiberte spoke with one of the students today about why she is pushing back on the university's actions.
Library Mall was very different just a couple of months ago, but the effects of what happened here during the encampment are still playing out for Dahlia Saba.
UW-Madison opened an investigation into her and another student after writing an op-ed in the Cap Times. Saba was first informed of this in July. The investigation looks into her role in the spring encampments, but Saba says her words in the op-ed are not an admission of guilt, but rather supporting the movement.
And we see these student conduct cases broadly as intended to intimidate students who stand in solidarity with Palestine.
The university did not have anyone to comment on camera, but in a statement to News 3 says, quote, "We care deeply about the well-being of our students and their rights of free expression." They continue by saying it's important to note all student misconduct hearings are judged impartially.
Saba's hearing is scheduled for 1 p.m. on October 4th. She has filed to make that open to the public. Reporting on Library Mall, Ellie LaLiberte, News 3 Now.
UW students and staff come together to help children who need extra assistance getting around. Today, UW-Madison held its annual Make-a-thon in the Granger Engineering Design Innovation Lab. Each year, participants from across campus work in teams to design or improve devices related to a certain theme. And this year is all about toddler mobility trainers. Organizers say anyone can be a maker, no matter your major.
You don't really need any skills to be able to do this. You just kind of need the materials. And especially at my alma mater, seeing people that are just like me and just like I was as a student, building this thing that my company designed, it's incredibly special.
This mobility trainer helps children around the age of 5 move independently of a stroller or their parents' help. Well, the Coats for Kids campaign a little more than a week away from the end of the collection phase now in News 3 Now. Of course, teaming up with our friends at Clinky Cleaners, the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County, and Magic 98 Radio to try and collect 5,000 coats. Now, we still have a long way to go, but we have collected 1,553 coats. You have until October 5th, that's next Saturday, to donate. Just take any new or gently used coats, hats, mittens, snow pants, and other winter outerwear to any Clinky location. And And if you don't have a winter coat, consider buying one off the Coats for Kids Amazon wish list. You can look for that link at channel3000.com/Coats for Kids. We also have a link there if you'd rather simply send a financial donation instead. And just ahead at 6, an elevator rescue on the UW campus. We'll share the details. Plus, a month into the school year, reminding drivers to slow down the increase in fines being issued for illegal school bus passings. And there's more local.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices.
The best call I ever made was to Gruber Law Offices.
It was one call. They took care of me, and they'll be there for you. You made that one call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
One call, that's all.
Right now, we're running our 60-60-60 sale. So when you purchase your new concrete coating, you get a $60 Visa gift card plus either 60% off installation or 60-month no-interest financing. This is one of our best deals of the year. So visit our website or call the number for your new floor today.
Save big money with these hot deals at Menards. All prices after 11% rebate. Assorted packs of fall flower bulbs are just $2.49. All on food, only $9.99. 5 packs of paper, lawn and leaf bags are $1.99. Tide laundry detergent, only $7.99. Plus pumpkins are now available. Hurry, these hot deals won't last long. Sign up for Menards emails to get more hot deals plus the weekly flyer right to your inbox.
Save big money at Menards.
I'm Matt, and I'm a former Trump voter. One of my biggest beefs with Donald Trump is that with him, anybody who doesn't agree with him is a radical, is a lunatic, is a leftist, a Marxist, a communist, somebody out to destroy America. I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris because I don't want to live in a world that's all about hatred and retribution and getting even with your neighbors and getting rid of people who are different from me.
Republican Accountability PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
We wanted to be able to enjoy all 4 seasons, and patio enclosures helped us make that dream come true.
The one and only patio enclosures.
Madison residents will have big choices to make in November over the future of our schools.
We're talking about investing into our kids and into each other.
I'm breaking down the Madison school referendum questions, what they could mean for the district, and your tax bill. 3 for the People, Tuesday at 10.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
5 people are rescued after they're trapped in an elevator on the UW campus. It happened shortly before 5:30 Tuesday evening. Madison firefighters were called to the UW Student Services Tower on East Campus Mall near West Johnson Street. An elevator stalled between floors 1 and 3. Power to the elevator was shut down, and crews lowered a 24-foot ladder from the 3rd floor onto the elevator car. The 5 people inside were fitted with a rescue belt and helped up the ladders to the 3rd floor. This week is School Safety Stop Week, and local law enforcement officials are reminding drivers to slow down. According to a school transportation expert, around 460 vehicles illegally pass school buses every day in Wisconsin. The Middleton Cross Plains School District is just 18 days into the school year, and they say already they've reported 26 illegal passings just in that district. A change to state law now means drivers could receive around a $700 fine for those violations.
Last year, there was an 8% increase statewide in school bus passing violations. And so far this year, the increases we've seen locally far outpace that. We've issued a number of citations so far this year. We're already near the point of as many as we've issued all of last year as far as the citations that we're issuing.
Wisconsin state law mandates all vehicles in either direction must stop at least 20 feet from a school bus displaying flashing red lights. U.S. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez campaigning for Vice President Kamala Harris in Madison this evening. That's a live look right now inside the Orpheum Theater on State Street. The stop is part of the Fighting for Reproductive Freedoms bus tour. It's running throughout the country. Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez is rallying students around the impact of overturning Roe v. Wade while underscoring the restrictions to reproductive rights in the Project 2025 agenda. And just ahead, there's an ongoing rise in whooping cough cases, plus calls for accountability why lawmakers are demanding charges be filed against Boar's Head. And the region will continue to warm up over the coming days. Blaze will detail our high temperatures this weekend and the cool down to follow. That's next in our full First Warn forecast.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Fentanyl is killing over 1,000 people a year in Wisconsin. New reporting shows that Eric Hubdy is doing business with a bank accused of links to the Mexican drug cartel. Banco Azteca loaded up $26 million in cash and flew it to Eric Hubdy's bank in California. Other U.S. banks have cut ties with this Mexican bank, but Eric Hubdy took their money. That's 26 million more reasons you can't trust Eric Hubdy.
Fry Construction has done it again. For the 5th year, we won the prestigious Best of Madison Award, and it's all thanks to you. To celebrate, we're offering 29% off our exclusive Absolute Gutter System with any full roof or siding project. Our gutters are custom fabricated on-site for a perfect, seamless fit that's engineered to excel. Don't just beautify your home, beautify it with the experts you trust. Call Fry Construction today and let us show you why we're the best of Madison.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
It's hard to believe, but it's true. Even the liberal media was shocked Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners and illegal aliens.
Every transgender inmate would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Thousands of our heroes face the difficult choice between keeping their heat and power on or facing homelessness. 21,000 Wisconsin veterans are living below the poverty line. Wisconsin loses 3 veterans to suicide every week. Together, our mission is to provide all struggling Wisconsin veterans with a critical survival safety net. You can make a real difference by providing a donation to the Wisconsin Heat and Housing for Heroes initiative.
3 years ago, I had an abortion of a desperately wanted and loved baby. Joan Ballwig wants to ban all abortion, with no exceptions. Not for rape or incest, not to save the mother's life. I know what it's like when women have to make these heartbreaking decisions. The very last person who should have anything to do with it is a politician like Joan Ballwig.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
The lawmakers are pushing for Boar's Head to be held accountable for a deadly listeria outbreak linked to recalled deli meat. Connecticut lawmakers urge the U.S. Department of Agriculture and Department of Justice to work together to determine if there should be criminal charges. The CDC says the listeria outbreak across 19 states sent 59 people to hospitals. 10 deaths were reported. The CDC says the number of people sickened in the outbreak is likely higher, as some people may recover at home without outside medical treatment. Cases of whooping cough are on the rise. Doctors are offering some tips on how to best protect yourself and your loved ones. According to the CDC, cases of whooping cough are 5 times higher than they were at this point a year ago. This year's number of cases more in line with pre-pandemic levels now, but for the most vulnerable, like the very young and elderly, it is a concern.
About a third of infants will get hospitalized, and actually about 1% of infants that develop whooping cough will actually die from the infection.
Doctors say the best protection against the disease is vaccination, typically given to young children. Adults who haven't received it should also be vaccinated along with booster shots, especially if they are pregnant. The Big Ten College Football Conference joining the push to boost the nation's blood supply. Together with Abbott Healthcare, it's organizing the We Give Blood Drive. The school with the largest blood donations wins $1 million. One doctor says every 2 seconds, someone in the country needs a blood transfusion.
There are a lot of ways to save lives. I always tell people you can learn CPR, you can sign up to be an organ donor, you can give blood multiple times and save multiple lives.
And to learn more about the Big Ten We Give Blood Drive and find a donation center near you, you can visit big10.org/Abbott. Rescuers are racing to free people after Hurricane Helene cut through a big path through 4 southern states. Here is a live look right now at Miami, which really didn't see a ton of action from this, but many parts of the East Coast, including Charleston and Jacksonville, saw a lot of rain up the East Coast, but the hardest hit areas obviously in the southeast and the Florida's Big Bend region. At least 40 have now been killed. The strong wind snapped trees, tore apart homes. FEMA has now deployed more than 1,500 workers in Florida and helped with more than 400 rescues. Looks like the remnants won't really impact us much. Blaze has the very latest on our rain chances and the warm temps in the coming days.
Yeah, other than the breezy conditions now and some cloud cover, we're really not going to tap into the rain that we otherwise maybe thought we were going to get as we were going into parts of last week based on the models from what is now post-tropical Helene. Speaking of Helene, she joins 6 other Category 4 hurricanes to have made landfall in the United States since 2000. If we step that date back to the 1900s, 1900 to be exact, she joins about 26 Category 4 hurricanes that have made landfall here in the United States. Since 2000, you can see not only the names and the dates that they made landfall, but also their pressure as well. So ranging from about 938 with Helene down to about 931 with Ida and Laura, and then up to 941 with Charlie. Interestingly enough, while there were 2 Category 4 hurricanes in 2017, we went 13 years without a Category 4 hurricane hitting the United States, from 2004 Charlie to 2017 with Harvey. So now where is she? She's currently spinning somewhere just south of, I would say, Evansville, Indiana. She's not going to move a whole lot. She's cut off from the jet stream, so she'll continue to move back north and westward based on her own momentum, and then she'll slowly push off towards the east. She's now post-tropical Helene, moving to the northwest at about 15, 20 miles per hour. Her wind field is still very strong. Gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour in the Indianapolis area, up to about 40 miles per hour in Chicago. We're still going to be dealing with isolated wind gusts upwards of 25 to 30 miles per hour here through at least your Saturday. But watch as we say goodbye to the purples and the reds, indicating those strong winds, because she's weakening. Tropical systems, whether it's a hurricane or a tropical depression, they do not like up and down wind. And that's what she gets as she's sitting over parts of the United States. And once she starts to break down, I want to turn your attention to the Dakotas. This is our next strong cold front, and the reason why it's able to impact us as we go into later Sunday into Monday is because Helene breaks down, and this is going to scoot her off towards the East Coast and then push her further into the Atlantic. We'll go from the upper 70s to low 80s Monday afternoon to the upper 60s to low 70s on Tuesday. A little bit cooler into Wednesday, still hanging out in the 60s. I think Future Track maybe has the days flipped. I think Tuesday is going to be warmer than Wednesday because it takes about a day or so for that cooler air to really set up shop. But this is not reinforced by a high pressure system, so that means we warm up rather quickly. We're back into the 70s by Thursday. The rain is going to stay off to our southeast because that cold front, again, is going to kick her off towards the east, and she just doesn't have that momentum to move her way back north and westward to even bring us a few showers even. So that means your weekend is looking pretty sunny, and maybe just a few clouds there Saturday. A bit breezy both days, but less breezy on Sunday. Those winds will start to die on down. 7-day and 10-day forecast. October begins and it's going to feel like fall, but we're back into the 70s, as I said, by Thursday. Maybe by Friday we could squeeze out a few showers, and that continues into your upcoming weekend as well.
And coming up in sports, oh, Captain, my captain. What it means to Owen Lindmark to be wearing the C this year. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
You've probably seen all these negative ads against me. Well, here's the deal. They are designed to tear us apart. But here's the truth. My life's work has been fighting on behalf of others. It's why I became a prosecutor, district attorney, and attorney general. I took on drug cartels and human traffickers to protect our communities. Look, everyone is tired of the petty, destructive politics. Let's turn the page and chart a new way forward. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
If you're about to replace your roof, stop. There's a solution about 80% less expensive. 9 out of 10 roofs can be saved by RoofMax. Guaranteed to extend the life of your current roof by 5 to 15 years at a fraction of the cost of a new roof. RoofMax's deep penetrating power restores flexibility and water protection. Nobody wants to replace their roof. Restore it instead with RoofMax for 80% less. Call now for a free roof inspection.
They've been rocking audiences for decades. It's Foghat. Performing live November 30th at Ho-Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
I just want to make
with special guest, the Empty Pockets. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. Legendary rock band Foghat. Live in concert November 30th at Ho-Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Your odds are better here.
4 years ago, rioters set this Minneapolis police station on fire, trying to burn me and my fellow police officers alive. Governor Tim Walz left us for dead. And Kamala Harris?
This is a movement, I'm telling you. Everyone beware. They're not going to let up, and they should not.
She raised millions to help bail rioters out of jail and supported defunding the police. Kamala sold cops out and put families at risk. Kamala Harris is too weak and too dangerous to be president.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I'm Joan Balwig, and these days the cost to make Great-Grandma Balwig's Blue Ribbon banana bread is, well, just nuts. Wisconsin families are feeling the pinch of inflation, even on the basics. That's why I work to put dough back in your pockets. Led the effort to defend our family farms and pass the biggest tax cut in state history, because the only way to make life affordable again is to do what banana bread does and bring everyone to the table.
Wisconsin was wheels up to Cali this afternoon ahead of Saturday's Big Ten opener with 13th-ranked USC. It's their first game against the Trojans since the 2015 Holiday Bowl, where the legend of three-sack Jack was born. Now, as far as this game goes, the Badgers know they have to be better than they were the last time out. And after a bye week where they got after it in practice, tomorrow is a great opportunity to show it.
I feel like the position we're in, predicament we're in, every game is a prove-it game. You know, we're not in no position to take anybody lightly or view any game as not being big. So, you know, we know the history that USC is. We know the team that they are. We know the success that they've had as of recent years. So, super excited for the opportunity. I think this is another chance for us to, you know, raise the level of our team.
Mike Hastings broke bread with this year's leadership group to let them know the responsibility they now have with the Wisconsin men's hockey team. And it's one that Owen Lindmark isn't taking lightly. The fifth-year senior will be donning the C on his sweater this season. And for Lindmark, being named captain of such a historic program is an honor of a lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, it's a great honor. Just thinking back to everyone that's had the honor of being named captain. And I think it's just a reflection on my parents and how I was raised. You know, they did a great job of teaching me to be me. And then as I grew up, you know, I just continued learning from them and using their teachings to just develop as a man.
High school football tonight, week 6.
Big night. Ooh. Middleton, Verona on tap.
Be there, yeah.
That'll be a big one. All right, final check of the forecast. Looking good for high school football.
It is. Tonight we're hanging out in the 50s and 60s. A bit breezy. Winds are going to be out of the northeast, so football players just keep that in mind. I don't know what that means, but there you have it. And then we are sitting quiet this weekend.
A great night for football out there. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6, folks. Have a great evening. Enjoy those games. We'll be back here with highlights at 10.